Temba Mliswa continues to ZANU PF to expedite the implementation of the 2030 term extension of Emmerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, in his view to get rid of what he calls confusion, as he responded to a very actually brave woman in Bulawayo who had to stand up and speak, ask very tough questions on the member of parliament who is contesting under the ticket of ZANU PF. And Temba Mliswa had to quote one of the individuals who spoke about that woman, actually glorifying her bravado in terms of raising this issue, of which many people who have stood up to raise this issue find themselves actually under attack by the faction of Emmerson Tambutso Mnangagwa. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hloniphani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we film live, you become the very first one to watch us. So let me read this. You will get the sense of what I have put on the heading towards the last sentence. He says the debate, that is Temba Mliswa, the debate around the 2030 agenda has been muddied by so many politically exposed individuals, such that the debate is now much more about the laws, processes, and constitutionality, but is now an auditorium for sloganeering. In fact, it should be the other way around. But he's saying people are slogan. There is no one who is sloganeering about the 2030 term extension except those who are supporting Emmerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, like Temba Mliswa. So he goes on to say the basic facts as things stand is that nothing has been done yet to warrant arguments that it is unconstitutional. What is the specific action that is unconstitutional? So he uses the argument that ZANU PF is using in the courts, especially against the applications that have been filed by Mbuso Fuzwayo as well as Ipechulika Zulu and others, of which we know that those are fake the applications engineered by individuals like Professor Jonathan Moyo, a man that I will also be reading about, because in the next sentence, Temba Mliswa speaks about him. He says, Prof. Moyo has laid out a succinct summation of the process and what can determine its purity. At its core, the constitutionality or legality of any amendment to the Constitution rests exclusively on adherence to stipulated procedures and nothing else. This statement should bring to an end all the posturing and politicking which has many arguing about unconstitutionality and illegality for something which has not been done. It is this presumptuous excitability, ignoring simple facts and steps, that has consistently left the opposition holding on to wet breaches, leading to mythical perceptions that ZANU PF has total control. ZANU as a party has stated that it intends to do, and that can't be unconstitutional as long as nothing unconstitutional has been done. I like this statement of Temba Mliswa, because as much as he's a supporter of Mnangagwa, I've said that Mnangagwa hired a very poor person to defend him, because he is contradicting himself. He says ZANU as a party has stated that it intends to do, and that can't be unconstitutional. So, in simple terms, he's acknowledging what ZANU PF intends to do is unconstitutional. And his argument is that because ZANU PF has not gone to implement that, then people should not talk about unconstitutionality. But he has considered that it is unconstitutional. 2030 term extension, for that statement alone, Temba Mliswa concedes that 2030 term extension for Emerson Mnangagwa is unconstitutional. Every political party aims for two-thirds majority in parliament for such times. It is its right to aim for such, just as it is the right of everyone else who opposes the agenda to argue to the contrary. It goes on to say the incumbency is upon the opposition to fashion an appropriate and sound argument. Sorry about that. I don't know what AI tries to do. So I'll take it up again. It says the incumbency on the opposition to fashion an appropriate and sound argument against the 2030 agenda, not this impulsive populist and yet staid unconstitutional narrative, which is logically defective. It goes on to say, as for ZANU PF, that's the point that I said in the last. In fact, that is what formulated the heading of this. He says, as for ZANU PF, it's high time it put into motion its plan instead of creating vacuums into which much unnecessary drama is now swelling. So, in simple terms, he's saying ZANU PF should go ahead and implement 2030 term extension to avoid this the political drama. We call it political drama for people who are actually speaking against the 2030 term extension for Emerson Mnangagwa. Now, let me take a few comments before I actually sum it up. Kolisi Twala says, I think you are missing the point. Let me just open everything. It may be legal for ZANU PF to amend the constitution and extend term limits as they have numbers to do it in parliament, but we, the citizens of the republic who overwhelmingly voted for this constitution, do feel betrayed. We do think the constitution has been subjected to numerous slaughter and attacks through amendments done so far, and the proposed amendments yet to be tabled in the August House. We, the citizens of the Republic of Zimbabwe, believe in the principle of leadership renewal, that is, serve your two and terms and step down. Our constitution does not have any problem whatsoever for it to be subjected to endless and unnecessary assaults. We endorse this constitution. We endorsed this constitution fully aware of its provisions. We therefore feel betrayed that 12 years later, our beautiful and sacred document is being reversed to the old constitution, which we rejected in 2013, by endorsing this current constitution. We, the citizens, are heartbroken because the assault of our constitution has nothing to do with governance issues or issues of national importance or the interests and the aspirations of the general population. Instead, it is being assaulted to settle ZANU PF factional and succession wars. Our sacred document has become a victim. ZANU PF is victim, I think, of ZANU PF leadership wrangle. Yes, ZANU PF may have the numbers. Yes, ZANU PF will be legally correct to amend this document, but we, the citizens of the Republic, will voice our disapproval of this most diabolic intention. Leadership renewal is a must. Okay, let me read someone else. The second point, quite pregnant from Kolisi Twala, and then Washe M. ZANU PF is yet to deliver electoral promises since 1980. Later on, constitution amendments. What is really prompting amendments to a mere 11-year-old constitution with almost 94% voting yes? Much less has not fully implemented it. Geoshla says, the fact that ZANU PF is mobilizing people, gifting them cars, money, and groceries is proof something is being done. Of all the resolutions adopted at ZANU PF conference, the 2030 agenda has been agitated for viciously. We are acting before abrogate the constitution. Elections in 2028 only, no to 2030. I think I'm just reading these tweets following each other. Someone says, point of correction, Temba. ZANU PF has total control only to ZANU PF bidding and ZANU PF affairs, agreed, but never to national affairs. A national constitution is not a ZANU PF constitution. So always bear that in mind whenever you debate these issues. Thank you. Someone says, ZANU PF is very evil. The Ndebele people saw this in the 1980s. After that, Tsvangirai MTC members and others also became victims. God has allowed ZANU PF to remain in power so that by the time they finally leave, people in every part of the country will lose the party. Someone says ZANU PF must footsack now. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first person to watch this channel. You can also financially support us by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. And let me repeat also, 2030 agenda must footsack. Thank you very much once again for watching us. And let's meet on the other side